why you shouldn't buy a townhouse, and that's what I'm going to get into. And if you do, some of the things you should think about. Look, they haven't been my favorites in the past, right? Townhouses. But I am warming to them because it is the future of Auckland, really. It's the only way to house people in the address they like in a warm place. So, but, a couple of reasons why you maybe shouldn't go for a townhouse, especially a new build. One reason could be if you're thinking about buying something to live in, but the townhouse you can afford right now, maybe you feel like it's only going to be good for a few years. So you're buying a townhouse that you think you definitely can't live there for 10 years, but maybe for 2-3 years it'll be okay. And then your plan is to sell it and buy a bigger home, raising equity from the one you sold. Be careful with it, because you buy a new build today, in 2 to 3 years, it will be a 3-year or a 5-year-old house. And you can't expect a lot of capital gain well, there could be a brand new block across the road that's selling at that time, competing with this lot. So you kind of got to expect that, your capital gains might be a little bit slower on the new builds. So yeah, you do want to be aware of that. Now, another reason why you probably shouldn't, and that's because when you are buying a home, right, you are actually buying two things. Your money is going towards the land, and it's going towards the structure. And what you will find is the more money that goes on this side of the equation, the better, right? So the land is what really does the heavy lifting in terms of the gain over time, in terms of prices, whereas the structure actually initially depreciates. So, and it's not to say that townhouses don't have land. Some of them do. And this brings me to my next point. If you are going to buy a townhouse, some of the things you should think about. First of all, if you're going to buy a townhouse, if you buy a little bit older and you're getting a little bit more land, I think that is preferred to buying something much newer with smaller land. Okay, so out of these two, I would go a little bit older with bigger land if I can. Now, the other point, another thing that you should probably think about is in terms of the actual covenants with the property. So it is important to get, to run it past a lawyer, because there might be some extra land rules that apply for any shared parts of the property. Okay, and one of the big things these days is aircon. Just make sure that you are able to put in an air conditioning unit, that there's no kind of rules in body corporate or something like that prevents you from putting extra units and things outside your property, right? Like a heat pump, external fan, for example. So check out the covenants, make sure you understand them, make sure you know what you're in for. If there is a body corporate, have a close look at the body corporate minutes of meeting, of course, because you want to know about any kind of maintenance issues or anything like that. And again, a lawyer is a good idea, especially with shared parts of the property and understanding what you're getting. Now, I think one extra tip, even if you're buying new, always think about getting a building inspection done, okay? Because not all houses, just because they've passed the council rules, it doesn't necessarily mean that the quality is great. There are different kinds of varying levels of quality with developers. So a building inspection is important, even for a new build, strangely enough. And of course, like other things that you would think about is just natural light. Of course, think about basically, north facing in New Zealand is important. So yeah, make sure you understand what the neighbors are like. And of course, think about the practicality. I have seen houses that are white and tall, and there's a lot of them in a shared driveway. You got to often wonder, okay, how does that property look 7 years, 5 years from now when no one's painted it? Are there rules that, is going to make sure that you're kind of all washing and painting on a regular basis? Because, just think about the practicalities of who you live around as well. And the rules around the property as well. So, look, thank you for watching. Hopefully that's been insightful. Again, this is very general information. We are experts in mortgages only, right? And a few other things, actually. But we're mortgage advisors, so feel free to get in touch if you do want to talk through any funding requirements. Hamish@monline.co.nz.